Welcome back to our series looking at the collapse of the Philadelphia Eagles for the 2023/2024 season. This is our last installment, the fifth part. We'll be looking at the defense today, as well as some other topics. But man, we were fucking bad. What's up? It's your boy Cintron coming back at you with another analysis video. And I kid you not, that's my real name. Almost stumbled there, but like the defense. But no, we did stumble. Anyways, we know that it was a terrible, god-awful year on that unit, on that side of the ball. Offense was bad. We were just abysmal, to say the least. And there's three main things that I would say highlight the collapse, per se, on defense: instability, personnel, and coaching. Some of those tie into, they all tie into one another, but personnel, to start with. Howie Roseman did not equip us with enough tools to do the damn thing, to get the job done. The linebackers, if you were telling me that Nakobe Dean and Nicholas Morrow, who didn't even make the initial roster, was cut, and then we brought him back because nobody else wanted him, and let's just say Nakobe Dean and Zach Cunningham, I believe they could have been serviceable to a point, but on the coverage end, we were always going to get eaten alive. And Nakobe was supposed to be not excel, but at least be average. He got cooked, and some of it was due to our scheme, but we don't have a coverage linebacker. Zach Cunningham, when he's your best guy to line up against running backs, tight ends, and receivers coming across the middle of the field, you're in trouble. And he was in the right position, right place, right time, but wrong person, because he couldn't do a goddamn thing to stop them either. He'd be close, but yet so far away, because he couldn't impact. He is the model that I want to have in a linebacker. 6'3", up borderline 6'4", with a wingspan. Just with his natural body build and athleticism, he could knock down passes in his general area when he was aware, and when he didn't take false steps and keying on the wrong guy. That being said, it's not his forte. And while he was pretty solid in the run game, until everybody just started collapsing and falling apart together as a whole, it's endemic on what Howie Roseman has ignored for years. Like, just because he stepped on that podium in the end of the year presser with Nick Sirianni by his puppet, one of his puppets, by his side, and said, we drafted Nakobe Dean in the third round and he's good enough. Bro, first of all, he's one person. It's linebacking core, not linebacker core. But you can't just piecemeal a thing. We got fortunate. We developed a guy like TJ Edwards, and then we let him go. We drafted a guy who was solid in Jordan Hicks, and yeah, he had some injury problems, but we just let him go. And we had a chance at other guys. Patrick Queen, I get that his price tag is going to be too exorbitant to bring on. Hopefully, not hopefully. Hopefully that's not the case, but that would be, a fool's errand to count on Howie Roseman to bring him in. That being said, some of that ilk, but he could have been had for a draft pick, and yeah, it might have cost us potentially a second, a third. But when are you going to make it a priority? When? Because it is killing us, the lack of personnel. And I could say maybe we could have had some better safety personnel, because I wouldn't have gone with Evans. He was chronically hurt, and you thought that you were getting a bargain discount when you got a discount that was spoiled and expired. No shot at him personally, but the guy just can't stay healthy, and he might have had a career-ending injury here. But the personnel was not up to the task. The coaching, the scheme we play in, it demands that we have linebackers who can cover, linebackers who are competent, and they know how to fill gaps, and they're also coached to fill gaps. I can't put it on Elliott, a linebackers coach, but except Jordan said, they just looked too lost in their run responsibilities, gapping. You have guys farming other man's land. Why are you here when you're supposed to be here? It didn't make sense. Like, the fundamentals, basic things like you learn from Pee Wee and junior high school and high school and your formative years just weren't there. And you're shocked at not just the level of talent, but the play. Like, you're like, what the hell is going on? You would think this guy never played the position ever. How'd you get here? So we got to be better at coaching them. And I know Vic Fangio is going to bring in some guys. Hopefully he brings in Joe Barry, the former defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers, who got fired, or Mike Caldwell, who was a former D coordinator with Doug Peterson in Jacksonville. Those guys are overqualified. And they actually, Mike Caldwell, he was a player, inside linebacker for us for 4 years. So they know how to play. They know how to coach the position, and he knows how to play it. So it would go a long way to having guys that actually know what they're doing in the classroom. It makes a world of difference. And you saw that, in Miami, at least the guys looked competent. They looked like they had somebody that was teaching them. And Fangio, with his 30 years plus of experience, he knows what he's doing. And he's the master of this scheme that we got the disciples, but now we got Palpatine. Will it go that route with the Empire? I don't know, but we'll see. But and then I said it was inconsistency. You might have to give me a second here. I got it. Instability. Like, with us switching coordinators mid-season, going to a guy teaching another guy's scheme who is still on the roster, on the staff. It just sent all kind of mixed signals to those guys. They were out there confused. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to react. They're listening to preseason, off-season, conditioning, plus week 1 through 14 coach, and then now it's coach 15 week plus telling us what to do. That's two different visions, two different, verbiages. They were just not even overwhelmed, just like error. They were glitching. So, you got to get that right. And I know Vic Fangio, he has the experience, but you're not going to, hopefully, he's not like Nick Sirianni. You're not going to come in the room and little boy him. You're not going to be like, oh, okay, well, coach, I need you to do this. I need you to put this guy on the field because we paid him, X amount of dollars. Or we drafted this guy in this round. I expect him to be getting a little bit more playtime. Now shut the fuck up and let me coach my damn team. Like, if you're gonna be coming in here and I'm gonna give you my walking papers. I hope he's that type of guy. We don't need analytics, whoever, giving their input when they're not coaching. They're not laying down the groundwork. They're not looking at schematics. They're trying to dictate a game plan that they're not in the know of how to attack an offense. They're just looking at pure numbers. It has no part, should have no part in our game. So we'll see if they can provide some stability. We'll get to that next. Looks like we're trying to stabilize some things on that front, but some of the things you blame the players because they're out there doing the job, but when you're giving them crap to work with and incompetence and mixed signals, this is what you get. A jumbled up, scrambled egg looking unit. All right, anyways, the Eagles have made a new hire. They did hire Joe Casper, the former Dolphins safety coach. So there was thoughts that he would be like senior defensive personnel here. But he will resume the same role, so that's good. We haven't had a safeties coach since 2020, and I think it was Joe Klum. Don't quote me on that. But the more the merrier, because we have a nickels coach, just regular secondary coach, the DBs, and then we'll have a safeties coach. So more hands on deck to specialize, get these guys more information, more knowledge, and hopefully different kind of film studies so that they can collaborate as a unit, bring that together. because what we saw last year was very disjointed. And he was a guy that was with us previously in 2021 and 2022, so he's coming back home. He was a senior defensive personnel here, and playing a different role, but Fangio assembling his crew, and he's not done yet. Just a few more pieces, I think, linebackers coach, and seeing what we're going to do with maybe some of the holdovers, Tracy Rocker. We'll see, but hopefully, like I said, that stability coming back in the building, because we need that. Shit. All right. I know we went over the Senior Bowl stuff yesterday, but I just saw one or two guys on this list that I thought would be a good fit. I talked about Peyton Wilson yesterday. Big linebacker, can cover, has good awareness in his drops and in zone coverage, what we need in a linebacker here. But a couple names: Cody Schrader out of Missouri, 5'9", but 220, solid back, runs in the 4.5, 4.6 range, I believe. Can be a 20 carry back, and we need a guy other than Gainwell who can pick up blitzes, and he can catch passes, so that wouldn't compromise. Oh, he's coming into the game. We know he's just here for running personnel, kind of like Rashad Penny, a tail basically. Give us a dual threat back. Even if how it works to somehow keep Swift, I would love for us to add this guy into the fold so that he can diversify our game and then be under contract moving forward, because I think 2025 Gainwell's contract is up, but we need a long-term guy. And while he may not be I love a speed demon, size, it doesn't have to be huge, but be a threat. But we need someone who can grind out those tough yards. And then just, we haven't had bigger backs here in a while, and we seem to hate that, but it is what it is. Kyrie Jackson, I think I maybe talked about him before, but 6'3", 200, runs in the 4.4 range. 1 year starting, he can get play time at Alabama, went to Oregon, and he excelled. So physical tackler. We need guys on the boundary that are gonna come up and be aggressive, kind of like Keely Ringo was in I think it might have been the Seahawks game. Even though he got hurdled, you can see that the want was there. So he's a big size, weight, speed ratio guy, and we could use more guys of that build. So, there's guys on the list, man. Yeah, second Goddard, talked about that. Cool. Or mini Goddard light. All right, our last thing we're going to talk about here today, mock draft. I'm just looking at guys and who they're floating to the Eagles. So we're at 22. This go round, we've been tabbed with picking up Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. We know there's pretty much two guys in the receiving room. That's Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. Everybody else is like an afterthought. That being said, if we can have a number 3 emerge, a guy that can play in the slot. He did a minuscule amount in college, but he was mostly an outside guy. But if he can play outside, and that would allow Smitty and AJ to come into the slot, that would give us so much diversity on offense. He can do that, but can he for the bulk of the time be inside? Just to have that versatility. But I don't know. I think he'd have to acclimate to it. He's a bigger guy, 6'4", 205. Has the wheels, 4'4", guy. Can be a burner. I see him, make some catches, and he scored a lot of touchdowns. He scored 22 in college, and then this past year, 17, having 1,100 yards, 68 catches. A guy that has some talent, and he could use some. He's not a route running maven. His tree has been limited for the most part. He runs deep routes, deeper in breaking routes. Kind of a long game, the big play threat. That being said, if he can take to the short game, give us an intermediate game, and get some of the dirty work underneath, man, we could have ourselves a player. But who knows? We'll grab him. But he's not my first choice, even though I think he'll most likely go first round. But I actually want a true slot receiver that can play on the outside, has a little bit of size, but mostly could do their work, killing on the inside. But anyways, we're gonna get up out of here on that note. But you're not even watching, no. But it's all good because I love talking about the Eagles and I love making these videos. So we're gonna chunk deuces officially. But as always, it's fly Eagles fly, and let's motherfucking go.
Like, comment, share, subscribe if you
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.